right, good evening, and welcome to the show that's got the Washington insiders shaking in their boots. I'm Gary Franchi, and this is the Next News Network's Raw Feed. Tonight, we're diving headfirst, but almost. I mean, we've had internet outages and Wi-Fi problems. It's 5 nights in a row. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm sure somebody does. So tonight, we're going to dive headfirst into a cesspool of political intrigue that will make the House of Cards look like a kid's show. But before we get into that, I do want to remind you that this isn't just any broadcast. This is a live interactive experience. That's right, folks. We've got a chat running alongside the stream, and we want to hear from you, your thoughts, your reactions. They're not just welcome, they are essential, because we are in this fight together, and your voice matters. Now, here's where you come in. We need you to share the stream. I'm talking text messages, emails, carrier pigeons, if you have to. Why? Because the algorithms are working overtime to keep this information from reaching the masses. But we've got a secret weapon, and that weapon is you. By sharing the stream, you're not just spreading news, you are fighting back against the digital censors. And let me tell you, yes, you are going to want to share this one. We're streaming live on YouTube to millions worldwide. We're also on Rumble and X. Make sure you're following us on all platforms, because you never know when the tech overlords might try to silence us. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of tonight's show. We've got 5 explosive topics that are going to blow your mind, okay? And blow the lid off the establishment's carefully constructed narrative. First up, a potential chemical attack at a Trump rally in Tucson. 20 supporters fell ill, and we're asking the question that no one else dares to. Then we're diving into the meme wars. Yes, you heard that right. Gavin Newsom is trying to outlaw humor, but the internet is fighting back. We've also got breaking news about Iran hacking Trump's campaign and funneling information to Kamala Harris. It's election interference on a scale that will make your head spin. And speaking of Kamala, we'll tell you why union workers are fleeing the Democrat Party faster than rats from a sinking ship. And finally, brace yourselves for this one. We've got insider information on multiple assassination teams targeting President Trump. But here's the thing, folks. This show, this platform, it does not exist in a vacuum. We need your support to keep bringing you the truth. So if you value what we do, if you want to keep this beacon of free speech alive, we need your help. There are donation links in the description. Every dollar counts in this fight for our future. So sit tight, buckle up, and get ready for a no-holds-barred journey into the heart of American politics. The Raw Feed starts now, and it's time to welcome you. Let's see who is here tonight on the live show, the Raw Feed. Pothead Kenny, Maria's here, Shoryu's here. We got So Flo Peppy, Tistone 48. We've got Resto Guy and Joe Carroll. We got Point Blank. Rogers here. Grow Greenland is here. We got Rebel for God is here. I'd rather be fishing is here as well. Sandy's here from Alaska. What's up? And let's see, we've got Konstantinos is here, and Tammy and Lois, Lizette, what's up? Taya is here, and Rick. Yes, we've got Drumming for Kids in the house. MB Man, Charles, Anime, Michelle Blackburn. Nicole, April is here. Margot and Mike, Pamela, Resto Guide. Everybody's in the house. Marco's here. Lizette, make sure you type in the chat room where you are watching from, your city, your state, your country. It helps everyone get a real good perspective on the breadth of this broadcast, because we are worldwide. And it also creates more of a community, because we are all in this together. Okay, we got a lot of news to get to tonight. We've had a lot of problems with technical issues. 5 nights in a row. It's like right in the middle of pre-production, everything goes out. The internet goes out. We can't make thumbnails. We can't continue to collect all the news and information to bring it to you. It's really been a mess, and I don't know what's going on. It's really a mess. Seems like everyone's getting attacked these days. I was told that same thing happened to Tim Pool just recently, Elijah Schaffer as well. Not sure if this is an excuse me, an orchestrated attack, or if it's just a faulty internet. So we got to get some news. Let's get it out right now. Okay, Brian, let's go. Folks, we're witnessing the birth of a new battleground in the culture war. Governor Gavin Newsom, in his infinite wisdom, has decided to make certain memes illegal in California. You heard that right. The land of fruits and nuts is now the land of no fun allowed. But here's the kicker. The meme creators are fighting back, and they've got a heavyweight in their corner. Elon Musk is leading the charge, and it's a David versus Goliath showdown that's about to get very interesting. Now listen up. While Newsom is busy trying to outlaw laughter, something far more serious is happening to your money. Our national debt has skyrocketed past $35 trillion. The government's playing a dangerous game with your financial future. But here's the thing. Smart money is moving into what the Constitution deems real money, gold and silver. If you've got funds sitting in a low-interest account or a 401k, you need to call Global Gold Investments now. They're offering a free 2024 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. Call that number on the screen, 888-700-4148. Mention Next News and get a complimentary portfolio analysis. Don't wait. If you don't have gold, you don't have wealth. Okay, so wow, this is wild. This is wild. And really, it all started because of one guy. One guy started this whole thing. And Mr. Reagan, man, unbelievable what one video has done to trigger the governor of California. If you haven't seen what started this whole thing, let's watch it together.
I, Kamala Harris, and your Democrat candidate for president, because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time.
Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
That's what started this whole thing. And now Governor Gavin Newsom is in this, like, he is neck deep in this whole thing. Mr. Reagan, just a day ago, I'd like to personally thank Governor Gavin Newsom for unintentionally making my AI parody go viral again. Thanks, Gavin. And Wokeness reporting Governor Gavin Newsom signs AB 2655, forcing social media sites to ban election-related memes created with AI. Look at this.
There are a lot of deepfakes out there. There's not a lot of disclosure. There's not a lot of labeling. So among the many AI bills that are on the desk are 3 specific election-related bills.
And then do you want to sign some laws?
I just thought, why waste your time with a politician unless they're going to do something for you?
There's 2. 2 are signed, and 3 are signed.
And this is now official. That is now injunctive relief if you do any of those deep fake election misrepresentations. So that's how easy it is to govern in California.
Yeah, sure. Everyone's laughing. It's not a joke, though. It is not a joke, because this is what Tim Walz has to say about
no guarantee.
speech.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Yeah, see, they don't believe in the First Amendment over there on the Kamala campaign. And the Secret Service is now investigating Elon Musk over a joke he made on X. Secret Service probing Elon Musk over post joking that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden haven't faced any assassination attempts. We're going to get to the head of the education union in a second, but this is what just happened today.
And manipulate. I think Mr. Musk has missed the punchline. Parody is still alive and well in California, but deep fakes and manipulation of elections, that hurts democracy and the integrity of the system and trust. And we believe in truth and trust, and we think this law is sound and will be upheld in the courts.
Nope.
So do you intend to seek legal action, whether on Elon Musk or any of the proliferating
Well,
deepfakes
the law asserts that many can seek injunction relief, and I just signed the law. I just signed 32 other bills on housing, and I haven't had a chance to review the specific lawsuit around a conservative blogger that seems offended by our law. I think
and what he's talking about, the conservative blogger that he is directly speaking of is Mr. Reagan. Yes, Mr. Reagan has filed suit against Gavin Newsom. And Politico even wrote an article. Creator of Kamala Harris parody video, the one we just showed you, sues California over election deepfake ban. Let's go to Politico and see what they have to say here about this article, about this lawsuit. The creator of a video used artificial intelligence to imitate Kamala Harris is suing the state of California after Governor Gavin Newsom signed laws restricting the use of digitally altered political deepfakes, alleging First and 14th Amendment violation. Christopher Coles, who goes by the name Mr. Reagan on X, has been at the center of a debate over the use of AI-generated material in elections since he posted the video in July, calling it a parody of Harris. The campaign ad features AI-generated clips, blah, 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 blah. You saw it. The governor made good on that promise on Tuesday by signing laws targeting fraudulent campaign materials. It's a parody. It is a parody. Now, Coles is suing, arguing governor is trying to make computer-generated parody illegal and asserting that political satire is a fundamental First Amendment right. The suit was filed on Tuesday in federal court, seeks permanent injunctions against the laws. One of the laws in question, the Defending Democracy from Deepfake Deception Act, specifies it does not apply to satire or parody content. It requires large online platforms to remove or label deceptive digitally altered media during certain periods before or after an election. Newsom spokesperson Izzy Garden said in a statement that Coles had already labeled the post as parody on X, requiring them to use the word parody on the actual video avoids further misleading the public as the video is shared across the platform. It's unclear why this conservative activist is suing California. This new disclosure law for election misinformation isn't any more onerous than laws already passed in other states, including Alabama. Misinformation. What is misinformation? Well, let's take a look at what RFK Jr. has to say.
You read I think the Democratic Party now believes they no longer trust the public. They don't trust the demos. They believe that the public needs to be controlled, that the information we get needs to be controlled. It has to be censored, that the big, threat to us is disinformation and misinformation, which is anybody who tells you that is lying to you. Anybody who tells you that is trying to manipulate you. But you're a big person. You can make up your own mind about what is true and not true. My kids do it. I say to my kids, look at this posting on Instagram where, the dog is eating the alligator. And they're like, Dad, you need to fact check that. So everybody knows that you got to do research, right? And that you don't believe everything you read on the internet. Louis Brandeis, our justice, Supreme Court justice, said that the remedy for bad information is more information. It's never censorship. Censorship is a way to control. I think the Democratic
And what
Party
does Tucker Carlson have to say about disinformation?
And so I would say, hone your spidey senses these next 6 weeks, because you're going to be lied to at a volume with a level of aggression you've never seen before. And the command will always be the same. Ignore what's right in front of your face. You didn't see that. That's not real. You're crazy. That's really the message. You're crazy. You can only trust us. The rest is disinformation. Okay. First of all, anyone who uses the phrase disinformation is a liar. Period. We're done. Disinformation is not a category. There's only one category: truth or falsehood. That's it. Disinformation is another way of saying you're saying something that's inconvenient to me. You are criticizing me. I don't like what you're saying. Shut up or go to jail. That's not a valid category. That's totalitarianism. That's tyranny. So anyone who uses the word disinformation is immediately on the liar's side. Don't listen to another word. That person is your enemy. Listen only to people who care about the only thing that is worth caring about, which is it true or not? Is it actually true? And the people who care about whether it's true are your guides through a dark time, and they're your only guides, and there are not many of them. So I would say,
I hope that we fulfill that promise as being your guide. Elon Musk posting this meme. Here are the memes. Waking up Gavin Newsom in the morning. Also, remember what happened in the UK? Yeah, it is now coming here. It's starting on the West Coast in California. Remember this? Young man is going to prison for slightly over 3 years for making satirical posts about the unrest in the UK, simply copying and pasting words of a Tory councillor's wife who got arrested for her remarks on X to make a point. This is where we're at. They're bringing it here. And did you see this? Here is the AFT president, Randy Weingarten, freaking out over Elon Musk and X.
Subsidiary. And the why, and this is what I want to spend my couple of minutes on. The why is because they are really afraid of pluralism, of patriotism, of democracy, and of knowledge. They want the world to be what it is for them. They want the billionaires to have the power. Look what Elon Musk is doing. It's like it's a wholly owned subsidiary of the Trump campaign. And the why.
Don't tell her what George Soros is doing. Yeah? Am I right? Yeah. So, here is Ham Link Law filed a lawsuit against the Attorney General and Secretary of State of California on behalf of Mr. Reagan, the creator of YouTube parody Elon Musk retweeted, to enjoin enforcement of these unconstitutional bills. Quote tweeting Gavin Newsom talking about his announcement of this bill that he just signed. Oh, wait a second. Maybe I'll go to jail for sharing this.
Good evening, California. I come to you tonight to impart a few words of wisdom upon you. First, not all pee-pee times are poo-poo times, but all poo-poo times are pee-pee times. Second, anything can be a dildo if you try hard enough. And lastly, the poop map is real and it's spectacular. Good evening, California.
That was AI-generated satire, my friend, so that's my disclaimer. Kiss my ass. All right, Joe Squawk. Is Elon Musk still happy about Twitter?
And they ask you when on Elon Musk, and you talk to him. It was not a good investment for him or the bankers in Twitter. Is he still happy that he did that, and does he feel like he took one for the team? So he's and he's not. He's getting a lot of backlash. Maybe people I've seen on a Tesla, on a bumper sticker that says "Elon, shut up." I've seen things like that.
If Elon hadn't bought Twitter, if Elon hadn't done this, the entire West would be at 10x the threat in terms, our civilization works, Joe, because we have free speech, because we have property rights we
So
have.
he doesn't care about the $40 billion.
These basic values are at threat. And no, listen, X is up 25% or so year over year. It's up 25% year over year. The revenue's down, of course, because the brands all went at him, because the brands are run by people who are not tied to the values of Western civilization.
Yeah, but that's not a free speech argument. If the brands don't want to support you, they don't have to.
They absolutely don't have to. Yeah. And but there are people being sued right now who did illegal coordination to try to attack it, which probably was illegal.
Is it illegal to say, I'm not going to put my ads there anymore, are you?
That's not illegal at all, but to coordinate behind the scenes with lies and to do something that's a cartel trying to crush something, that's not necessarily appropriate. And so I think that's got to come out in the courts, and we'll see what they did.
Okay.
So he's
we will see.
He's not thin-skinned and sensitive. I don't think at all, is he?
He's fighting to save Western civilization. I think a lot of us are trying to do so as well. This is a huge time for.
But I'm scared when I try to do it. I don't think he's scared. But and I'm thin-skinned.
Well, it's been an exciting week. Thanks for having me on. I'm here in town working on pager international supply chains and stuff. It's kind of fun.
Yep. And then, of course, Elon Musk, having no fear at all, posted this meme. When you post so Doge designer posted a meme, and Elon Musk simply said, "This is like Counter-Strike, but for memes. This is what it's going to be like when you post a meme in California." Yep. There's a SWAT team going in, just like they're doing it in the United Kingdom right now. So this is what's happening right now. The meme wars have officially begun. Mr. Reagan kicking off this whole thing with his meme that he posted and Elon Musk quote tweeted. And now Mr. Reagan, I can't believe it. He was on our show right before he published that thing. Elon Musk quote tweets it, puts it out there. Gavin Newsom freaks out. A bill is signed. Mr. Reagan is suing Gavin Newsom, and all hell is breaking loose in the meme world. So, ladies and gentlemen, the meme wars, they're just beginning. Newsom may think that he can legislate humor out of existence, but he's about to learn a hard lesson. The internet always wins. As we speak, an army of digital warriors is gearing up for the fight of their lives. Freedom of speech isn't just some lofty ideal. It's the bedrock of our republic. If it takes 1,000 spicy memes to defend it, so be it. So stay tuned, folks. This is going to be one for the history books. And now we want to hear from you. Do you think that Newsom's attempt to regulate memes is a clear violation of the First Amendment? And how crucial is Elon Musk's role in fighting this government overreach? Drop a comment below. Okay, let's get to the chat. What do you guys think about this? Can you believe Mr. Reagan sparked all of this? This is wild. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Remember, God says in the last days, good will be called evil and evil will be called good. I think about that scripture all the time. What a bunch of crybabies, says Nunya. Marlene says, thank you for the true news. That's what we're here for. Okay, let's see what else you're saying. Glenn Jacobson, California commies. Papa Smurf says, yes, it is a violation of the Constitution. Laser Troll says, they can take my memes over my cold, dead computer. That's funny. Nobody Cares says, memes cannot be controlled. Newsom will fail spectacularly. Jeremy Olson says, Mr. Reagan has good podcasts. Yes, he does. Deborah says, bless Elon Musk. Amen. Pothead Kenny says, we need to talk and keep talking. We were born with this right. We certainly were. Okay, let's get to our next topic, our next segment of the evening. The war on Trump has begun. Well, it's been waging for a while, really. Got a lot of clips here. One's a little bit longer. It does have some good information. Okay, let's jump into this. Brace yourselves, America. What I'm about to tell you isn't just alarming, it's downright terrifying. According to Congressman Matt Gaetz, there are at least 5 known assassination teams in our country targeting President Trump. 3 foreign and 2 domestic. Now, this is not just some conspiracy theory cooked up in a dark corner of the internet. This is intel from a senior Homeland Security official. And here's the kicker. Requests for additional security for Trump have gone unanswered. Some people have even been taken off of his Secret Service detail. So who's calling these shots and why? Now, pay attention. In a world where threats lurk around every corner, you need to be your own protector, and that is where CarVision X comes in. Recent reports show drivers with dash cams are 60% less likely to be found at fault in traffic accidents. It's not just about saving money. It's about safeguarding your future. CarVision X offers 4K Ultra HD night vision, 24/7 motion detection. It's like having a guardian angel riding shotgun. Visit CarVisionX.com now for free express shipping and exclusive bonuses. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect yourself and your loved ones today. Now let's get right into the nitty-gritty of this shocking news that is just ripping through the internet right now. But before we do, Donald Trump was on the Gutfeld show last night, and he is certainly the people's champion.
Professional one. You have to do it right because you are
This is why they hate him so much.
the people's champion, Mr.
Oh,
Trump.
wow.
And on behalf of
I like that. Now I'm really happy. That's a good one.
That's the man who makes all the professional ones.
Beautiful, yeah.
There you go.
It's a crowd. No, but this is the real one. This is a real deal. This
No, I'm going to give a fake belt to the next president.
We're more used to that. That's good. Thank you, Terry.
You are the people's champion.
You're going to have to wear that on the golf course for safety reasons.
Yeah, he is the people's champion. And now Matt Gaetz says there are 5 different assassination teams here in America targeting President Trump, according to a Homeland Security source. Let's listen.
And I'll break a little news for you. I had a senior official from the Department of Homeland Security in my office before the second assassination attempt saying that what he has assessed is that there are 5 known assassination teams in the United States, 3 inspired by other governments, 2 that are here that are known domestic assassination teams. And with that, this individual was coming to me concerned that the force protection around President Trump, even prior to that second assassination attempt, was not sufficient for what it needed to be. And the coordination at that level, at the dignitary protection level, is like the bare minimum that we have to do to keep our presidents, our presidential candidates safe while they're on the trail.
So there are 5, I just want to follow up, 5 assassination teams. Are they all targeting Trump? Is it other officials?
Yes. No, wow. I should have been clear about that. 5 teams that we know are targeting Trump. And so that raises real questions about why certain teams were being pulled off of the Trump detail and put on, for example, the Jill Biden detail. Now, we don't want anything bad to happen to Jill Biden, but at the same time, the threat envelope for her was substantially different than the threat envelope around President Trump, and it would not have necessitated pulling assets away from the Trump detail for the Jill Biden detail or the John Bolton detail or any other details that were beefed up. At the same time, the requests from the Trump detail and from the Trump campaign for more security were going unanswered.
Unanswered. Mike Engelman tweeting. Senior Homeland Security official tells Matt Gaetz they're aware of at least 5 teams. Let's listen in on this.
2 of them we
this
know.
is from Breitbart on Sirius XM today.
What are you saying about these 5 assassination teams?
We are aware of at least 5 teams in country that are geared toward killing Trump. And I think, 3 of them that we know are foreign in nature. 2 of them we know are domestic in nature. And that calls for a force protection that we do not have around the former president right now.
Okay, who are you talking to that talked about this?
A senior Department of Homeland Security official met with me, said they were aware of this and were concerned that the Secret Service was not providing sufficient support.
Was this like a hearing, or was this like in your office?
In my office.
This conversation. Okay. Now listen, Congressman, I'm just a guy here. I don't know things. Why are these people? What do we do? Why are we just having assassination teams walking around?
Well, one reason is because when they entered the country, there was insufficient scrutiny to stop them from doing so. Right? I mean, the 3 of these teams are foreign inspired, from my understanding. Iranians, Ukraine, Pakistan.
Wow.
And, the work is
Iranian, Ukrainian, and Pakistan.
Obviously challenging to protect a protective detail like a presidential campaign that is vigorous and out campaigning. But, the concern that this person brought to me, and we're still investigating it, is whether or not, given this threat environment, you've got the right sniper teams, the right tactical teams, that when you are having a movement of the campaign, that you've engaged sufficient local law enforcement and that you've got other resources. And, we've seen a few times where resources have been pulled off of the Trump detail for the Jill Biden detail or for the John Bolton detail. And we're going to question whether or not that was sound given what we knew about the efforts to kill Trump.
Yeah, I'm concerned that we have assassination teams walking around the country. I feel like there should be some sort of preemptive stopping of these people that we know about.
Yeah.
We can talk about, like, should we have a security around the golf course? Great. Should we have someone up on the water tower or maybe on that roof that might be dangerously sloped? Sure. But I'd love it if we just didn't even have known assassination teams walking around in the first place.
Yeah, that would be ideal. But in the world in which we live, with an open border, with insufficient resources to stop people from coming here from other places to do harm, this is the threat level we have to confront. And so we can't be Pollyanna about it. We've got to be vigorous.
Yeah. And of course, they do not give him the proper security detail. Now, this is an official post from Matt Gaetz. The senior Homeland Security official told me there are at least 5 known assassination teams in our country targeting Trump. Excuse me. It may be time to consider private augmentation of President Trump's security team so we can keep him safe. This is a longer cut of the interview that he gave that we played earlier.
We're lucky enough right now to be joined by, from the great state of Florida, Congressman Matt Gaetz. Congressman, great to have you on.
Oh, thanks for having me, John and Amanda. And it's interesting that HSI killed the investigation that Customs and Border Patrol would have thought appropriate. And we all know that Customs and Border Patrol, they interact with a lot of these people with strange stories. And the fact that they flagged this one in particular seems reasonable given the bizarre fact pattern. The attempted assassin was claiming that he was recruiting freedom fighters for Ukraine in Taiwan, Afghanistan, Moldova, other places. And when asked how he resourced such an effort, he said, well, I get the money from my wife. Now, that may very well have been true, but it might not have been. There might have been foreign contacts that were funding this effort on behalf of this American. And if that's true, we would want to know the depth of those communications and of the resources that might have been provided to this person by any of these countries.
Yeah, and you did such a good job asking about that. I want to ask for just a quick follow-up, if Amanda would allow me. The FBI gets tipped off in 2019 to this guy that he might have weapons as a convicted felon. They don't follow up with him. A nurse twice reports this guy to federal authorities in 22 and 23. They don't follow up with him. And then CPB flags this guy, and he's still not followed up with. Whatever happened to say something, see something, say something, do something? It doesn't look like the government follows that anymore.
Well, I'm certainly proud of the CBP officials who said, there's something squirrely here. There needs to be part of our investigative arm that's activated for the thorough review that would be called for. But you're right, at the top levels, there seems to be a mismanagement of the information. And when we had the person who directs Homeland Security investigations before our committee, she didn't have answers as to the basis for not following up with such strange facts encountered at the border. So I think there are people doing it right. But as you see, if you have one link in the chain that's not effectively conveying the information, demanding the follow-up, then you have a real negative outcome like we had where he was able to enter the country and do harm.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah. So many missed opportunities. I mean, all it requires is a little scratch and sniff. It also requires coordination of a lot of these different agencies, Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, Secret Service, even Border Patrol in this case. And we oftentimes find that it's the brass that is stonewalling or creating the clog in the machine, I suppose. It's the rank and file. How can these people be expected to coordinate, at least the rank and file, if the folks above them are not willing to do the work?
Yeah, that lack of coordination has been laid bare by these assassination attempts. And I'll break a little news for you. I had a senior official from the Department of Homeland Security in my office before the second assassination attempt saying that what he has assessed is that there are 5 known assassination teams in the United States, 3 inspired by other governments, 2 that are here that are known domestic assassination teams. And with that, this individual was coming to me concerned that the force protection around President Trump, even prior to that second assassination attempt, was not sufficient for what it needed to be. And the coordination at that level, at the dignitary protection level, is like the bare minimum that we have to do to keep our presidents, our presidential candidates safe while they're on the trail.
So there are 5, I just want to follow up, 5 assassination teams. Are they all targeting Trump? Is it other officials?
Yes. No, wow. I should have been clear about that. 5 teams that we know are targeting Trump. And so that raises real questions about why certain teams were being pulled off of the Trump detail and put on, for example, the Jill Biden detail. Now, we don't want anything bad to happen to Jill Biden, but at the same time, the threat envelope for her was substantially different than the threat envelope around President Trump, and it would not have necessitated pulling assets away from the Trump detail for the Jill Biden detail or the John Bolton detail or any other details that were beefed up. At the same time, the requests from the Trump detail and from the Trump campaign for more security were going unanswered.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
Congressman, I know that you and a number of other problem-solving type members of Congress have probably thought and had conversations about what could be done to at least supplement Secret Service to protect President Trump. What would be your recommendation to the Trump campaign?
President Trump is the last person worried about this, to be honest. I mean, he's worried about his message. He's worried about the safety of the people there. And I think he himself does not reflect on his personal security. And that's why those around him need to. I think that there are ways to augment some extended perimeters with some private security. I've heard Eric Prince, a very smart guy, opine as to what it could take to ensure that folks aren't able to just set up and get this close. I mean, you think about what happened in the second assassination attempt. Someone was able to park outside and plan and prepare and lie in wait for the former president. That should never happen, and it might need some sort of private augmentation to ensure that we keep President Trump safe.
Yeah. He waited for 12 hours, and there was nobody walking that perimeter to find this guy? Come on.
Good point. Congressman, we've got about a minute and a half left. 5 assassination teams. Was this Homeland Security official coming to you as a whistleblower? Was he coming to you in official capacity? And was the Secret Service aware of these assassin teams before July 12th or before this past Sunday? They were.
Yes. So the person was informing me of this information because the Secret Service was aware of the threat profile around President Trump. And again, this was before the second assassination attempt, and the person was coming to me in part to ensure that if they revealed this information, if investigations and reviews brought this to light, that it would be able to be scrutinized and assessed without this person being fired or rat-holed or sent into the closet somewhere. As you and I know, some folks who are the truth tellers tend to find themselves. So our office likes to be, a place of respite for those who can come and say, look, here's what's actually happening. And then we try to get that information before the public in the most responsible way possible. And I think the public should know that the Secret Service was aware of 5 assassination teams at the time they were taking protective assets away from President Trump and redeploying them to other people with less of a risk profile around them.
That is just unbelievable. Congressman, you do such great oversight work. I remember all the great work you did during Russia collusion to unravel that fake scandal. This is a bombshell. We can't thank you enough for bringing us.
Wow. They knew. Secret Service was well aware of these teams circulating in the United States. They let that assassin, that would-be assassin, sit on that fence line for 12 hours. Not one person walked that perimeter to check. It's because Donald Trump is a champion of the people. Folks, this is a red alert situation. When a former president of the United States is being targeted by multiple assassination teams and our own government seems to be dragging its feet on protection, we are in uncharted waters. This is not about politics anymore. It's about the very fabric of our republic, and we need answers, and we need them now. Who is behind these teams? Why isn't more being done to protect Trump? Stay vigilant, America. The war on Trump is far from over, so tell us in the comments, what additional security measures do you think should be implemented to protect President Trump? Wow. That is crazy. That is crazy. Thank God that whistleblower came forward to deliver that information to Matt Gaetz. Big breaking news today. Okay. Papa Smurf says, could it be an inside job? You know what? Certainly could be. Certainly could be. Nunya says, deploy Dan Bongino. Scott Weber says, give him a company of Marines. Alma says, hire his own personal security. Yeah, Pothead Kenny says, not to mention a guy was hanging out by a public sidewalk with a gun, kids and families and whatnot going by. Wow. Mary says Trump needs veteran bikers to surround him and Dan Bongino to coordinate the personal detail. Mountain Goat says there is a mole in Trump's midst. Wow. Taya says, I've heard there are 2 moles inside beyond Secret Service that are from Trump's roots that are feeding Harris aides information. Wow. What does Kat say here? As a former law enforcement, I always thought Secret Service was the ultimate superior organization, not anymore. Nexit says the reporters go to that hole to take pictures of Trump. Why weren't they there that day? Great question. Martin says, if you're hiding and waiting there for 12 hours, then you know Trump will show up. Five teams circulating right now. Unbelievable. All right, let's get to our next segment here. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Let's see here. Make sure I have all my notes. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at foreign interference on a scale that would make the Russians blush. The FBI has caught Iran red-handed spying on Trump's campaign and funneling stolen information to the Kamala Harris camp. This is not just a breach of privacy, it is a full-blown assault on our democratic process. We're talking about a hostile foreign power actively working to influence our election. And the big question looming over all this, will Kamala Harris come clean about what she knew and when she knew it? Now listen closely. While we're talking about threats, let's talk about the silent threat to your health, aging. Now you might be wondering what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris. Well, I recently saw a video that he made and I was floored. At 84, he is still kicking butt and working out and full of energy. How? He made one simple change. Now he and his wife feel decades younger. And he's made a special video explaining everything. Go to chuckdefense.com/next or click the link below. Trust me, it will change how you think about health. Don't miss this opportunity to feel young again. Let's jump in to the details here. Michael Seifert, Iran is interfering in the election to help Kamala. Putin said he wants Kamala to win. China spent years grooming Tim Walz, but Kamala says the dictators of the world are rooting for Donald Trump. Yeah, right. Libs of TikTok, foreign election interference. FBI says Iran has been sending stolen material from Trump's campaign to media organizations and the Biden campaign since June. Iranian hackers sent, this is CNN, Iranian hackers sent stolen Trump campaign information to the Biden campaign. September 18th. Biden released, this is interesting. I'm going to play a clip for you from CNN. Biden released billions of dollars in funds to Iran. Iran responds by sending Biden stolen Trump campaign data. Former cybersecurity director Chris Krebs says this is the tip of the iceberg for the Iranian influence operation in the 2024 election, saying it on CNN of all places.
Election. This is the tip of the iceberg for the Iranian influence operation in the 24 election.
Yeah, it certainly is. Tim Murtaugh, it's election interference, plain and simple. There's no mystery why that would be. Listen.
And rich. Well, it's election interference, isn't it? Plain and simple. And there's no mystery why that would be. When Donald Trump was president, Iran was weak and broke. And under Biden and Harris, they are strong and rich. And so, of course, the Iranians prefer Kamala Harris, of course, because they have a pliant, sympathetic figure in her. The questions here today are, what exactly did the Harris campaign do with this stolen information that they were sent? What did they do with it? Did they try to shop it to the media? Did they use it in any way? This is absolutely election interference. And the big question today is, what did Kamala Harris know and when did she know it about this Iranian election interference? No question.
Yeah, what did she know? When did she know it? What did she do with it? Tim Young, Iran stole information from Trump campaign, gave it to Biden and Harris, but Biden and Harris don't have to tell the Trump campaign or anyone else?
Make sure I've got basically what was stolen or not. That's up to the Harris team to disclose to them. So we don't know yet, but as soon as we can get more information on that, I'll of course, let you know.
Wait a minute. So Biden, I just want to make sure I've got the facts right, because they don't sound fair. So the Biden-Harris campaign can decide whether or not the FBI can see what was stolen, and the Biden-Harris campaign can then decide whether or not Donald Trump, a competitor in a presidential election, who the material was regarding and stolen from, can actually see what was taken.
Well, so in some instances, the FBI can just wholesale, demand that information be turned over and actually get it themselves. Other instances, they have to ask the owners of the information to provide it to them. We don't know exactly which
Can we
instance
ask on their
this
behalf?
Is. We absolutely can.
Yeah,
that's a great question.
That, I mean, we.
What do they do with it? Why didn't they tell anybody? Oh, here's Karine Jean-Pierre. Ready for this?
The FBI and other U.S. intelligence agencies said that Iranian hackers sent stolen information from the Trump campaign to individuals associated with the Biden campaign. This is before President Biden left the race. So was the president made aware of this at the time?
So what I can say is that we learned about the statement yesterday, and the president has been made aware of it now. But we learned about the statement yesterday. Look, this is something that the FBI, ODNI, and CISA have to speak to. They put out their statement, so I would refer you to them specifically. But more broadly, what I can say about this is that no foreign government like Iran or Russia are actively seeking to influence in our elections.
Wait, what?
And so we have about this is that no foreign government like Iran or Russia are actively seeking to influence in our elections. And so we have said that. We know
clip this out, guys. Clip this out. Save this. Bookmark this. You heard what she just said?
Have to speak to. They put out their statement, so I would refer you to them specifically. But more broadly, what I can say about this is that no foreign government like Iran or Russia are actively seeking to influence in our elections. And so we have said that. We know that. And that's why you've seen us take actions to hold accountable those who seek to undermine confidence in our democracy, and we will continue to do so. And so that has been something that we've said from here. The ODNI has shared with the American people what we know about the foreign influence, including by making public the hack of the Trump campaign on August 19th. In early September, the Department of Justice brought criminal charges against those involved in covert influence operations on behalf of RT. And so this is something that obviously law enforcement and our intelligence community is focused on, and so they're better to certainly speak to it.
She said that there isn't an effort? Did I hear that correctly? I mean, I played it 3 times. I mean, am I hearing the same thing you guys are hearing?
About this is that no foreign government like Iran or Russia are actively seeking to influence in our elections, and so we have said that. We know that, and that's why you've seen us.
They're not. What? Karine Jean-Pierre, get your facts straight. I don't know. Just bookmark that little soundbite for the future, my friends. And of course, President Trump weighing in. Wow, just out. The FBI caught Iran spying on my campaign, giving all of the information to the Kamala Harris campaign. Therefore, she and her campaign were illegally spying on me. To be known as the Iran case. Will Kamala resign in disgrace from politics? Will the communist left pick a new candidate to replace her? Donald Trump posted that September 18th at 9:48 p.m. Eastern. Fox News reporting as well. Iran tried to influence the election by sending stolen material from Trump campaign. Hillary colluded with Russia, and now we learn that Kamala has been colluding with Iran. They both should have been charged with treason, but Garland hasn't the intellectual integrity to charge any Democrat. More like the FBI handed it to Kamala on a silver platter, says one respondent. This is treason from the Biden administration. Wow. So, folks, this Iran hacking scandal is just the tip of the iceberg. We're seeing a coordinated effort to undermine our electoral process, and it's coming from both foreign and domestic sources. The fact that stolen information from Trump's campaign ended up in Kamala Harris' hands should set off alarm bells for every American, regardless of political affiliation. This is not about left or right. It's about the integrity of our republic. So stay alert, stay informed, and remember, the truth is our most powerful weapon. And here's what we want to know. If it's proven that Kamala Harris knowingly accepted and used stolen information from a foreign power, what consequences do you think that she should face? Should she be forced to step down from the race? Drop your comments below. Wow. Oh, this election is insane. I still can't. Yeah, Susan says KJP is a liar. What? I mean, guys, did you hear what I heard? She said that there is no foreign influence. So when they come out later and they say that Russia tried to do this or Iran tried to do this because Donald Trump wins, what does that statement have to... What bring that statement back up? Oh, I hope I heard that right. I really do. Maddie says they have to go. It is treason, and this is enough. Sandra agrees. She should be charged with treason and put in prison. Wow, everyone wants to. Yeah. Jeremy. Philip says treasonous acts. Dottie, you heard it too. You heard it too. I had to play it a bunch of times because I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I hate to try to give these people like the benefit of the doubt, but maybe she misspoke. I mean, I don't know. I can't really wrap my head around what I heard KJP say. Tistone 48, we are a constitutional republic. Yes, we are. UK sports fan, this makes Watergate look like child's play. Doesn't it, though? Get some more reaction on this. JDGOT Security. No, she shouldn't be forced to step down. Instead, she should be forced to say that she illegally received that information from Iranian hackers at the beginning of every rally that she has. What information did they get? Dottie agrees. Every time you played it, I heard the same thing. This is crazy, man. Mario says Judgment Day is coming. Welcome to Gitmo. Freebird flies. I heard they're not going to announce the presidency the night of the election. Yes, they're already laying that out. They're already seeding the public with, we're not going to be able to have a definitive answer. Because they got to ship all the votes in, right? Marta, she should absolutely be forced to step down and step behind the prison wall. Our Boyd, Watergate wasn't even a big deal. Yeah, compared to what we're seeing now. Barb Franta, this is a stark reminder of Watergate. Kamala needs to resign her position as she's been spying on her opponent's campaign orange jumpsuit. Wow. Okay, let's jump to the next segment. This one is quite terrifying. Not sure exactly what's going on here. I hope there's a logical explanation. I really, really do. But these days, you never know. Buckle up, America, because what I'm about to tell you is straight out of a political thriller. At a recent Trump rally in Tucson, Arizona, 20 attendees seated near the stage suddenly fell ill with mysterious symptoms. We're talking blurry vision, swelling, and even chemical burns. Was this a targeted attack on Trump supporters? A botched assassination attempt on the former president himself? Or something even more sinister? The possibilities are chilling and the implications are enormous. Tonight, we dive deep into this alarming incident. And folks, speaking of pain, let me tell you about a breakthrough that is changing lives. If you're dealing with daily aches and pains, listen up. Medical scientist Clint Winters has unveiled a natural pain reliever that is taking the world by storm. It's called Clonidine, and it's 100% drug-free. This stuff is so powerful that UFC fighters swear by it, and here's the kicker. It has no documented side effects after 14 years of testing. Click the link below to check out Clint's report and access it for less than $1 a day. Don't suffer another day. Go to trycano.com/NNN now. You'll find it linked below. Okay, so the mystery. At Trump's Tucson rally, I posted a Twitter thread on the Next News Network X feed. If you're not following us there, you need to follow us immediately. And I broke it down. I did some investigating to try to figure out, like, okay, is this just a cleaning solvent, something, a directed energy weapon? Like, what was it? And how much, if it was some sort of a cleaning, I'm trying to be like, maybe this is just an accident. Okay. I want to try to be, as optimistic as I can about this, that it was just an accident. But again, you never know. With everything that we've seen these days, assassination attempts, everyone is on high alert everywhere. So you have to ask deep questions. What type of solvents would be required to exhibit these types of symptoms in 20 people at a rally? So 20 attendees seated near his entrance experienced blurry vision, swelling, even chemical burns. Why wasn't Trump affected? Okay, the blurry vision and the symptoms, swelling and chemical burns, suggest chemical exposure. One attendee's doctor confirmed a chemical burn. All this occurred near where Trump entered the stage, making a localized chemical release possible. Let's talk about some of the elements. Bleach. As little as 500 milliliters could release fumes strong enough to affect 20 people. Bleach vapor can cause respiratory distress, blurry vision, and chemical burns. Trump may have passed through that area too quickly to be affected. But you smell that. You smell bleach. People would have said it, right? They would have said, I smell bleach. Ammonia. A spill or release of 500 milliliters to 1 liter of ammonia could cause blurry vision, respiratory irritation, and skin burns. If Trump wasn't in close proximity for long, he could have avoided exposure while seated attendees felt the effects. Again, ammonia would clearly be smelled. Quaternary ammonium compounds, or quats, commonly used in cleaning products. Exposure 1 to 2 liters could cause burns, swelling, and blurry vision. Trump may have been shielded by timing or airflow near the podium, limiting his exposure. Now, I don't know anything about quats as a cleaning product, so I'm not familiar with what that smells like, or how I would even react to it. Okay, now, strong acids, hydrochloric or phosphoric acid, a spill of 100 to 200 milliliters could cause severe burns and swelling. Acids affect the eyes and skin quickly, so attendees seated near the stage could have been more vulnerable than Trump, who was moving through it. Solvent-based cleaners, acetone, alcohol. If 1 to 2 liters of solvents were spilled or aerosolized, they could create fumes causing dizziness, blurry vision, and burns. Trump may have been exposed briefly, but not long enough to experience symptoms. Degreasers, heavy-duty cleaners like industrial degreasers, can cause chemical burns, eye damage, and respiratory distress. A spill of 500 milliliters to 1 liter could have affected attendees. Trump's position, height, and airflow near the stage may have protected him. Aerosolized cleaners. A cleaning spray in the air could linger, causing irritation. 500 milliliters of aerosolized cleaner in a poorly ventilated space could affect many people. Trump might have moved through the area before the full effect took hold. Could it be a localized chemical attack? A chemical agent might have been released near where Trump entered. He moved quickly while attendees were stationary, making them more vulnerable to prolonged exposure. This could explain the pattern of symptoms. Another possibility: Trump could have been protected by security barriers or even personal protective measures, air filters, barriers, or higher ventilation around the stage. These could have prevented exposure to airborne chemicals. Now, here's another question. Was the attack targeted at the audience rather than Trump? If the goal was to cause chaos, a substance could have been deliberately released where the audience was seated, leaving Trump unaffected but still stirring confusion and fear. And the timing is crucial because Trump may not have spent enough time in the affected area to absorb a dangerous dose of chemicals. Meanwhile, attendees seated in close proximity experienced prolonged exposure, amplifying the effects. Another question: could an HVAC system malfunction or deliberate contamination have been the cause? Cleaning agents or chemicals improperly vented into the seating area would disproportionately affect stationary attendees while leaving Trump, who was moving, less exposed. If this was a targeted attack on Trump, why wasn't he affected? Airflow differences could explain it. He was elevated on stage or near better air circulation, which might have pushed the chemical vapors away from him while impacting the audience. Protective measures. Trump's security may have unknowingly shielded him from a chemical attack. Air quality monitoring, special barriers, or even precautions like air purifiers could have been in place, preventing him from suffering symptoms. What if this was not a chemical but a directed energy weapon? They exist, folks. These types of attacks target localized areas with electromagnetic waves. While it's speculative, such technology could affect a small group without impacting Trump, who wasn't directly in the path. Alternatively, this could have been a botched attempt to harm Trump, where the chemical release was mistimed, impacting attendees but failing to harm the intended target. An attack designed for a specific moment might have backfired. If an accidental spill was to blame, the investigation needs to focus on cleaning schedules, storage areas, any potential leaks near Trump's entrance path. This could explain the localized nature of the exposure. So, was this a targeted chemical attack on Trump? The evidence is still unclear, but the concentration of symptoms in one area raises critical questions. Why were only attendees affected, and what steps need to be taken to ensure it does not happen again? So I've just gone down this long list. They would have smelled bleach. They would have smelled ammonia. So, I mean, you wouldn't smell it if it was a directed energy weapon. But inside of a stadium? Like, how does that even happen? I mean, I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible here, as you can in a situation like this, and saying this had to been, some kind of cleaning solvent that irritated these people. But the questions are being raised. Was Trump the target of whatever caused these symptoms? I mean, was it a third attempt on Trump's life? Paul Joseph Watson says the Trump campaign is investigating reports that up to 20 attendees of his rally in Tucson experienced severe eye irritation issues, prompting speculation the incident was some kind of chemical attack. Mysterious symptoms reportedly strike 20 attendees. You can see them seated right there. How did rally attendees receive chemical burns? This is from the Arizona Globe. Myra Rodriguez, another attendee, fell ill 30 minutes after leaving the rally. 30 minutes after. Okay, timing is important. Experiencing burning eyes and severe headache. By the time she arrived at the emergency room, she could no longer open her eyes. After performing a dye test, the doctor informed her she had suffered a chemical burn. Days later, she continued suffering from blurry vision and light sensitivity. Several other attendees shared similar stories with the Arizona Globe. The reported symptoms include blurred vision, severe eye pain, facial swelling, appeared roughly 30 minutes after the rally ended. Now, we do have a clip from the local news on this. Let's see, we have this clip right here. Let's go to this.
Donald Trump's
supporters of former President Donald Trump that were allowed to sit behind his stage at his Tucson rally last week tell the News 4 Tucson investigators they left with mysterious injuries to their eyes. News 4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter Course Nylander is live outside the Tucson Music Hall downtown. Course, what are we learning about their situation?
Yeah, well, Monica, this is where thousands of people came out to hear former President Donald Trump speak last week. There was a group of 48 people allowed to sit on stage behind Trump throughout the event. They were split into two groups on each side of the stage. One side seemed to walk away without any issues, but multiple people seated near each other on the other side tell me that they had to go to the emergency room after they left the event. Here tonight, for the first time, the Trump campaign is confirming that they're investigating this situation.
No taxes on Social Security benefits for our seniors.
More than 2,000 people filled up the Tucson Music Hall Thursday to hear Donald Trump's first speech in Tucson this campaign as Election Day nears. Some of his biggest supporters were allowed to sit behind him on stage. Supporters like Myra Rodriguez, a former director of Planned Parenthood with a notable shift to being pro-life. In 2016, she sat behind presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on stage at an event. Now she supports Donald Trump. She enjoyed the rally, but once she left, everything changed.
As soon as we left and I stepped outside, I started feeling like my eyes were burning.
At first, she thought it might be allergies. She lives near Phoenix. By the time she got home, it was so bad she decided to go to the emergency room.
The emergency room staff keeps saying, from the triage nurse to the PA, And are you sure you don't get spray anything? Your symptoms look like you were sprayed something.
The News 4 Tucson investigators spoke to her the morning after the rally, Friday last week. That morning, she was nearly blind.
I can't see anything. When I try to open my eyes, it's like a white cloud covered. It hurts. It hurts a lot to open my eyes. I mean, I have this cold cloth that I put on and I take off all the time. But this is horrible.
She says the doctors weren't able to determine what exactly caused it. Her initial thought of allergies went out the window when she heard from several others seated next to her at the rally that also ended up seeking medical attention with the same symptoms.
It kept getting worse and worse. My eyes started watering a lot. My nose started running. Then I started feeling my face get really flushed, and then my neck felt like it was on fire. And it just progressed from there.
This Tucson woman, who doesn't want to be identified, was seated in the same area behind Trump with her brother. Both walked away with eye injuries and sought medical attention.
I was all focused on my eyes. I mean, my eyes were red like hell, you know what I mean? It's like, it just like unbearable. You just couldn't, I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it.
Whatever caused it seems to be isolated to the group seated on stage right. Former Congressional District 6 candidate Kathleen Wynne was seated on the opposite side of the stage and says she and everyone she knows seated near her walked away without any issues.
We hope that there's no nefarious actors in this and that this is not a strategic hit for those that are supporting Donald Trump.
Myra reported her injuries to the Trump campaign and says she was told it was being investigated. Myra feels it's crucial for people to be made aware of what happened and what could have caused her injuries.
Obviously, what I would like is an investigation, right? That whoever, that this does not get away with it.
I don't want to be very clear. We do not know at this point if a person caused any of this or what exactly the cause could be. We can only speculate at this point, but that apparently is what the Trump campaign is trying to get to the bottom to at this point. Less than an hour ago, the Trump campaign senior advisor Danielle Alvarez sent us a statement reading, quote, "The Trump campaign has been collecting information. We remain committed to the countless patriots that attend our high-energy, high-impact rallies across the country." I did also speak with the United States Secret Service. They tell me they were not informed of any of this and only learned about it when I called them, but they said there was no known threat to President Trump during his event here in Tucson last week. We'll update you as we get more information on this situation. We're live from downtown Tucson tonight. Corey Snylander, News 4 Tucson.
Of course the Secret Service is clueless, right? That's all that's par for the course today. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, are they trying to dissuade people from attending Trump's events now? By fear of having some kind of chemical attack? Or was this just a careless cleaning crew that left solvents or cleaning supplies open so the gases could be released? But it happened 30 minutes. They felt the symptoms 30 minutes afterwards, which is so bizarre. They would have smelled something. So, again, I want to be optimistic here, as optimistic as I can about the situation, by saying, you know, it has to be an accident. But the fact that they didn't smell anything is really raising questions. And the only thing you wouldn't smell is a directed energy weapon. You wouldn't smell that. I mean, where would that have even originated from inside of this hall? So, ladies and gentlemen, the Tucson rally incident is a wake-up call. Whether this was a targeted attack or a horrific accident or something in between, one thing is clear: the safety of our political gatherings is at risk. We need answers, and we need them now. Who or what caused these symptoms? Why were only certain attendees affected? And most importantly, how do we prevent this from happening again? Stay tuned, folks, because the story is far from over, and we won't rest until we uncover the truth. And here's what we want to know from you. Based on the information that we've shared, do you believe the incident was a deliberate attack on Trump supporters or an accidental exposure? What evidence would you need to see to be convinced one way or the other? Comment below. Okay, let's get into the chat and see what you guys are saying in real time to this. Let's see. Okay, change it up. Says there are a couple toxic elements that are odorless. See, I'm not as versed on this, but I'm sure there are. But 30 minutes after the event is when they felt the symptoms. Supreme Being says this is targeting. Okay, Dude Bro says infrasonic sound waves are a type of sonic weapon that use low-frequency sounds that are inaudible to humans but can still cause pain and disorientation. But the chemical burns, the doctors clearly stated? I don't know. Kev Chat says, odd that many were affected and originally not reported. If it was chemical, it wasn't in the HVAC system. It would have affected the whole place. Yeah, this is localized. Clearly localized. And there would have been like residue, right? In the HVAC system, in the HVAC filters. That's what they need to investigate. They need to get into those filters and find if there's anything there. Anon Karma says that they have been exposed to directed microwaves for about half a year daily, and it sucks. That's terrifying. Catherine believes that this was deliberately done, as does Roscoe Treat. Obviously not an accident. Number one MAGA general, it was on purpose. Bioterrorism, in my opinion. Mari says, sounds like pepper spray. Freebird flies. You know how they have those little glass tube stink bombs? It could be something like that, but with chemicals in it. Yeah. I know all about those glass tube stink bombs, let me tell you. Yeah. I could write a book on that. Supporters aren't safe either, says Troll Patrol. Ocean Breeze Salty, what's up? Good to see you. It's some freaky DARPA weapon. That's their specialty. Pothead Kenny says, sounds like somebody walked by towards the end and dropped a tear gas capsule. Almost the same symptoms. Wow. Kev Chat says infrared light can burn. Infrared light? But wouldn't you, I guess you wouldn't see infrared light, right? Lynn is asking about their clothing sent in for analysis. That's a good question. A great question. There would be some sort of residue on that, right? David says, depends on where they were 30 minutes afterwards. Soflo Pepe. Good point. It happened in Cuba a few years ago. It is directed energy weapons. Cisco raising a good point. Whatever it was, shouldn't they be able to look at the video at where the people were specifically seated and see if there's a trajectory? Wow. Oh, interesting, Eric. Someone stationed above the stage and a mist of sulfuric acid from above? Ooh. But man, But 30 minutes? It took 30 minutes for it to take effect? I don't know, man. Wow. So I'm going to keep following this. This is too odd. I don't know. I don't know if this was directed at Trump or if it's something to dissuade Trump supporters from going to other events or not. But it doesn't. I don't like it. When I saw that this happened, I had to dig into it. So, okay, let's get to the next segment. Hold on to your hard hats, America, because the political landscape is shifting beneath our feet. The Teamsters, one of the most powerful unions in the country, have just dropped a bombshell. For the first time since 1996, they're refusing to endorse a presidential candidate. And folks, this is not just a speed bump for Kamala Harris, it is a full-blown roadblock. We're seeing a seismic shift in the labor vote, with blue-collar workers flocking to Trump in droves. The Democrats' big labor firewall is crumbling before our eyes. Now, listen up. When we're talking about rejuvenation, let's talk about your skin. Countless Americans waste time and money trying to reduce wrinkles, missing the real culprit: decreased collagen. After 20, your body produces 12% less collagen each decade. That's why I take this magic secret powder. It combines the top 5 types of collagen for skin health, reducing visible aging signs and promoting elasticity. Get it today at 51% off at healthwithgary.com. Order now for free VIP coaching, a free ebook on skin-boosting foods, and a 60-day guarantee and free shipping. Click the link below. Your skin will thank you. Okay, some bad news for Kamala Harris. She is losing big. DonaldJTrump.com posting Teamsters non-endorsement is a blow to Harris, as rank and file stick with Trump. The Dems are losing their minds over the non-endorsement from the Teamsters for Kamala. It shows how scared they are of Trump. He's picking up massive support from everywhere. The entire Democrat Party is in freak-out mode, and here is AOC freaking out.
I find this to be very it's confusing, because when you actually look at our locals and we actually look at how these decisions are made, this is very much an aberration, I think.
Oh, yeah. An aberration? Maybe not. Remember this back in April? This was in New York. President Trump making a surprise visit to a New York City construction site. The Teamsters. MAGA hats, cheers. They are certainly happy for Trump. And here we go. Teamsters endorsed Obama in 2012, 2016, the Clinton, 2020, Biden, 2024, nobody. And the liberal meltdown is in full effect. CNN completely shocked that Teamsters not endorsing Kamala Harris. I've also got a clip here of Trump reacting as well. Let's see how CNN responded.
This Teamsters. We have breaking news. The Teamsters Union will not endorse either candidate in this year's presidential race. Unions, a critical part, of course, of President Biden's winning coalition.
Is she crying there?
4 years ago. But this year, the Teamsters president spoke at the Republican National Convention, putting support in doubt. The union represents 1.6 million workers and retirees. Let's talk about it with CNN's Kayla Tausche. Kayla, this is something that hasn't happened in decades.
It hasn't happened since 1996, Brianna, and you mentioned that unions were a critical component of President Biden's winning coalition back in 2020, and Democrats had hoped that once again, especially after the policies put forth by the Biden-Harris administration, that it would be an easy win for Vice President Harris. Now, she has secured the endorsements for most major union leaders, but this one was always outstanding. And around the time of the Republican National Convention, when Sean O'Brien, the leader of the Teamsters, took the stage to deliver remarks, stakeholders at the time were suggesting that Teamsters officials had been saying behind the scenes that they could remain neutral in this year's race. Remember, union leaders themselves have a political calculus to make within their own organizations. They are elected in many cases, and they have to keep their membership happy. And in many of these cases, they've waited until their own internal polls showed exactly how their rank and file members felt before they came out with their endorsement. And many of those polls were conducted in recent months. The Teamsters poll, which was conducted over the course of 6 months with sort of a fast track in the last month when Harris became the candidate, showed overwhelming support for former President Trump in many cases. But in the statement that the Teamsters put out just a few moments ago, they nodded to specific proposals that they were unable to clinch with either candidate as the reason for remaining neutral. Sean O'Brien, who's the president of the Teamsters, saying, unfortunately, neither major candidate was able to make serious commitments to our union to ensure the interests of working people are always put before big business. He goes on to say, we sought commitments from both Trump and Harris not to interfere in critical union campaigns or core Teamsters industries and to honor our members' right to strike, but were unable to secure those pledges. Now, to many following this situation, it's not necessarily a surprise given that this position had been more or less telegraphed for the last few months, but they had dangled the possibility of a change in that stance, inviting Vice President Harris to many roundtables with rank and file members to try to have these discussions with her, only to have the end conclusion be the same.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Here, they were talking about the Teamsters Union president speaking at the Republican National Convention. We've got a clip. This is from July 16th.
Greetings, delegates and guests. I'm Sean O'Brien, General President of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters.
I can only imagine what was going on in the Kamala Harris campaign when this guy took the stage at the RNC. They were probably just absolutely freaking out. And then today's news solidified their fear.
I'd like to give my peeps from the greatest state in the nation, Massachusetts, some props. What's up? First, I want to thank the hardworking Teamsters and union members here in Milwaukee who play vital roles in the building and operations of this convention. I also want to thank President Donald Trump for opening the RNC's doors to the Teamsters Union and inviting me to speak before you tonight.
Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Let's see. Here we have, okay, this person, I know firsthand dues-paying Teamster members are largely Trump supporters. When they vote, they're voting for their best interests.
This is their phone. It came out. We knew that there was going to be some announcement from the Teamsters about their endorsement plan. And they came out and said that they are declining to endorse either candidate in this election. But let's put up, if we have them, the polling from the Teamsters Union.
Wow.
This is their phone polling among their members. 58% Trump, 31% for Harris. And then they also had an online poll where Harris was 34 and Trump was 59.6. We know that they have historically, in modern history, or at least the last few decades, have always endorsed the Democrats. So is not endorsing sort of an endorsement?
Sort of it is. I mean, they did endorse Ronald Reagan during one of the times that he ran for president. But the bottom line is Sean O'Brien, who's the head of the Teamsters, said that he was going to be guided by that poll. Well, clearly he went back on that, because if he was guided by the poll, he would have to endorse Donald Trump, because most of the overwhelming number of his
members. He spoke at the Republican National Convention, which people probably remember.
And by the way, the UAW president, Sean Fain, another Sean, but Sean Fain said the same thing. He was asked when Biden was still running, just before Kamala came in, he was asked about what his members say. He said, overwhelmingly, my members are going to vote for Trump. And yet he endorsed the Democrat candidate. It's Kamala Harris now, of course. But the point is that the heads of the union are still afraid of losing that close contact with the Democratic Party because they get so much from the Democratic Party. But the members are not going their way.
Well, yeah.
This is great news. I love this, man. I love seeing this. Okay, let's be clear. The Teamsters have endorsed Democrats since the 90s. Them not endorsing Harris is a no vote for Harris is a vote for Trump. Let's see how Karine Jean-Pierre reacted.
Also put out its internal polling that showed that there was a pretty wide margin of rank and file membership that supported former President Donald Trump. To what extent is that a referendum on the work of this administration?
Look, I'm not going to speak to their poll. I'm not going to speak to the rank and file. Look, it is. We're talking about a 2024, obviously, an election that is just a few weeks away. I can't speak to that. I can't speak to their decision to endorse, not endorse.
Union also put out its internal polling.
She can't speak to it. Yeah, she hasn't got our talking points yet. Here's President Trump reacting.
Decision. Mr. President, any reaction to the Teamsters' decision not to endorse?
No, they were. It's a great honor. They're not going to endorse the Democrats. That's a big thing. And this is the first time in, I guess, 50, 60 years that that's happened. Democrats automatically have the Teamsters. They took a vote, and I guess I was at 60% or more. And that's a great honor. I mean, it's really, I've had a lot of Teamsters work for me, a lot of the concrete trucks. They built all these buildings that you see in New York City, the Teamsters. Exclusively Teamsters, I have to say. They've done a great job. But the vote of the Teamsters themselves was very high for me. And the leadership, Sean O'Brien and the group, who are great people, they said, we can't endorse the Democrats. So I think this is the first time in many decades that they haven't endorsed Democrats.
Big difference in those big industrial states, you think? They're going to make a difference?
I think it will, yeah, I think so. The Teamsters carry a lot of weight. The Democrats cannot believe they didn't. You know, look, this is, it was always automatic that Democrats get the Teamsters, and they said we won't endorse the Democrats this year. So that was an honor for me.
Mr. President,
that was an honor for President Trump. Let's see, we got some more here as well. Teamsters not endorsing the endorse for president after their member polling gave Donald Trump an overwhelming lead. Let's see what he has to say here.
Convention. Whatever the critics out there, and they're very few in the leadership, whenever I get an opportunity to highlight the American worker, especially the Teamster worker, I'm going to take any and all venue. We asked both conventions respectively at the same time, and the Republican National Convention immediately responded to us, didn't try and edit any of our messages, and I was hopeful that the Democrats would do the same, but they didn't. I'm not upset about it, but I can tell you this, my rank and file members who have been lifelong Democrats are not happy about it.
Yeah, I know there were some members of the union who spoke, but that's not the same as having the leader of the organization speak. Very quickly, did you choose to speak at the Republican convention, which is a pretty unusual move for a union leader, because you feel that Trump has been more pro-labor than past Republican nominees?
No, not at all. I spoke there because it was the ability to highlight how important we are. It was the ability to call out the people, the corporate elitists, who forget who built this country, the American workers. You know, people like to, you know, have their own opinions on why we were there, but I was there to talk about the American workers. It wasn't an endorsement for any and all Republicans. It was strictly a message about how important and how valuable we are, and to let the people know that fight us every day, that we're not going away.
They're not going for Kamala either. What else do we got here? Okay, Dustin Grage spoke to a Teamster trucker. They were pretty livid that their regional chapter endorsed Harris-Walz. All the truckers are voting for Trump. This is BS. A reminder that union bosses don't represent the actual members who overwhelmingly support Trump. DC Drano says, I'm confused. For the first time in 30 years, the Teamsters Union will not be endorsing a presidential candidate. They said they didn't have majority support among their members for one or the other. I'm sorry, but doesn't 58% count as a majority? Certainly does. Listen to this guy. Yesterday, nearly 60% of Teamsters are voting for Trump today. 70% of steam fitters, Local 638, voting for Trump. And it's an estimated 65 to 70% of UAW members are also voting for Trump. Listen to this guy.
The very
Whoops. My bad. Here he is.
industries that in the UAW, I'm doing an auto plant rally every week at a different auto plant in the Detroit area, Bill. We're hearing numbers higher than that. 65 or 70% of the UAW members are supporting Donald Trump because the very existence of our industry is at stake. Now with Teamsters, there's always going to be trucking. There'll just be less of it, but it's an existential threat if Kamala Harris is elected president to the auto industry, because she said she wants no gasoline-powered vehicles by 2035. Well, that will completely annihilate the domestic auto industry, and we'll be dealing strictly with Chinese-made vehicles within 5 or 10 years.
Byron Donald's posting that video clip. Here's this. The day after Teamsters released their survey, results showing 60% support among their members for Trump. Steamfitters union member announces 70%.
Just getting into, I can tell you on my end, the Steamfitters have voted in the poll. We have a 70% return in favor of President Trump.
Wow.
Why? Well, everything that's gone on the last 4 years, an open border, inflation, gas prices, oil, mortgage rates. I mean, I can go on and on. The immigrants just getting into neighborhoods like the neighborhood I grew up in, which I mentioned last night. I have a daughter down there. She's afraid to walk around. And this is a neighborhood I grew up in. These are where people worked hard all their life to buy a house in a nice neighborhood, and now it's destroyed by illegal immigrants. And like I said last night, too, to David Muir and Lindsey Davis, those two hacks from the moderators from the debate, they don't have to go to Springfield, Ohio to look at mutilated animals. They could go to right in Queens in a federal park, and you'll see them all over the beach. It's disgusting. It's bringing the property value down. It's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. So Democrats in full-blown panic mode because they are losing the labor vote. And, okay, so we played through that clip of AOC. And now we have a clip from CNN of Sean O'Brien, Teamsters president, reacting to AOC attacking the Teamsters.
In our polling, she should maybe get into her district where it voted far Republican, far right Republican, and maybe find out what the problem is. When I have a problem in a work site and there is criticism, I get right in there and find out what.
What do you mean
voted
far right Republican?
In our polling,
she's a Democrat.
In our polling,
you mean among Teamsters?
In our polling, New York, her district, voted overwhelmingly Republican to support former President Trump. So she may want to focus on her job instead of mine. She should maybe get in.
So, folks, the writing's on the wall, and it's in big, bold letters. The Democrat Party's iron grip on union support is slipping away. It's not just about the Teamsters. We're seeing similar trends across the board. Steamfitters, UAW members, they're all jumping ship. The question is why? Could it be that after years of broken promises, working-class Americans are finally waking up? One thing is for sure, come Election Day, this labor revolt could be the game changer that reshapes American politics for generations to come. And now we want to hear from you. If you're a union member, what have you heard from your union bosses and fellow members? Comment below. All right, let's see what the chat's saying about this. This is a really, really big development. A lot of reaction to this. Okay, we're up against the lies and manipulation from the Democrats, like Connection says. Love y'all, says Juan. Bold letters, Claude says Trump. Let's see. Want to get your topic, response on the topic here. Looking for reaction. Martha says, perhaps because all American jobs are gone, shut down. Here is Ocean American Bully. Local 1932 supports Trump. That's awesome. Brandy Lou says, Gary, you're looking so healthy, dude, and handsome and strong. Good for you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Let's see. Did I lose Brian? Where's our chat? I don't see the chat on the screen. Brian, did we lose connection with you? Where's Brian? Am I missing something here? Did we lose you? Where's Brian? Okay, not sure what's going on there. Okay, let's see. Grew up in Michigan, says Pothead Kenny. Wish the automobile industry would come back one day. R. Boyd says, I think Brian fell asleep. Tia says, awesome show. Thank you, Gary. Margaret, great show, Gary. Let's see. Get some more reaction. No one's fuel. I'm a steel worker here in Ohio. Our union in Canton, Ohio is a joke. We haven't had a contract in 6 years. We pay the company. It's basically paying to stand up. Our union is a complete joke. Silver Dime, going back to previous segment, referring to that chemical attack. It was odorless. Seems like a Fed action. Being the covert, odorless, and delayed action. Do you think our 3-letter criminals wouldn't do it? Claude says, been following Next News since 2015. Great job, Gary. Keep it up. We're all going for Trump, New York, Westchester. Look at you guys. You're all giving me all these praises. Gary, you rock, brother. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Troll Patrol, love the show and the team. Thank you for your sharing of the info. Okay, Denise says, my family member, Local 13. Trump, love. Okay, let's jump into the latest news that's happening now. Just want to check on Brian, see what happened there. No response in the chat either. Okay. All right, let's check in on the latest news. All right. Washington Times 7 seconds ago, JetBlue will imitate bigger and more successful rivals by opening airport lounges. An iconic photograph of Winston Churchill, the Roaring Lion, is heading back home to Canada after it was stolen from a landmark hotel in Ottawa 2 years ago. Spill the memes. Oh, look, it's a show about a guy dating multiple women at once, watched by women who hate... Okay, this is a meme. The Democrats hit their target. RFK Jr. is an asset to Trump and need him out. Fortunately, the Maha and MAGA peeps don't fall for this gaslighting, which is all that matters. CNN is reporting that Olivia Newsy and RFK Jr.'s relationship was emotional and digital in nature and not physical. What? Let's see. I have no idea why this video of Israeli phone sales girl is going viral.
רק ב-1990 ילדים משגעים אתכם נון-סטופ שבא להם אייפון. תקשיבו, יש לי פתרון.
I can probably give you two good reasons. Let's see. What's this? 5 nights at Diddy's. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I've been watching the Diddy stuff on the sidelines. You know, some of that stuff is just too hot for YouTube. So I'll let other people take the heat. We're under too much of a magnifying glass over here at Next News. Let's see. We did put in our remonetization request, waiting for YouTube to shower us with love, and we're still waiting to find out what happens in Texas with the Texas documents. Okay, what happened with Dan Bongino? The only way to deal with communist media hacks who hide behind BS. Bongino didn't reply to a Reuters request for comment, but he addressed it on his show, calling the reporter a lying sack of shit, telling him to F off. Bongino also said he's repeatedly condemned political violence on his program as absolutely an unacceptable red line we shouldn't cross. Roger Stone, I like your style, he says. Rob Schneider, none of Oprah's friends were able to attend the Kamala Harris event tonight as they were either in prison or hiding. That's funny. Nah, baby, nah. 95% of major network coverage of Trump was negative after the second assassination attempt, linking to a Breitbart article. Oh, here we go. 5 minutes ago, DHS and Secret Service withhold records about Trump's first assassination attempt. Why would they withhold records? Conservative watchdog group America First Legal filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Secret Service and Department of Homeland Security for allegedly withholding records. Okay, let's see what else. I'm afraid to click on the For You page. But we'll play some X roulette here for a minute. Some of the stuff that I've seen, like, did you see that girl? that OnlyFans girl at the Trump rally? Dare I even... I mean, I have it bookmarked. I was actually going to cover it tonight. Oh, isn't that interesting? You can see that on the screen, right? I'm not going to read it, but you can see it. We've heard this story before, haven't we? Okay, fine. You want to see it? Did you see it? Okay, I have the clean version and I have the clean version and I have the blurred out version. So I've got to get to the clean version of this girl. Oh my goodness. Wait. Oh, is that the... Oh, yeah, that's not the clean version. Where is it? This is so crazy, this girl. And now she's going to be donating all of her OnlyFans money to Trump. Where is it? Okay, an OnlyFans model raises money to support Donald Trump. The day before, 26-year-old Ava Louise tried to attract the attention of the cameras by getting naked during the Republican rally in Long Island. The police took the girl out, but she promised to raise $500,000 for Trump.
Okay, who wants to... 20,000 people that have no hands. Okay, who wants to leave their money to their kids?
Oh, my God. Okay.
Do I have any hands?
She's got the camera. There we go! Let her rip.
Okay, who wants to leave their money to their...
Oh, my goodness. Oh, there she is. At the portal in New York.
20,000 people that have no hands.
There we go. Oh, boy. It was blurred out. All right? Everybody, it was blurred out. YouTube, it was blurred out. David Harris Jr. going on Newsmax, detailing what happened with Diddy. Oh, wow. One of Diddy's executives walked into his friend Boyan's Yako office, pleaded for help. Sean is about to flip in order to get a plea deal. Oh, no. Another word salad from Kamala Harris. Donald Trump is a grandpa and a human being. Pass it on. Yes, he is. Sean Diddy Combs placed on watch at New York jail as he awaits trial. You know, if you go on X and you look up some of the stuff with Diddy, I mean, there's audio recordings I could never play here. Yeah. What happened here? What? Oh, no. Oh, what? Man. You never know what you're going to get sometimes on the For You page. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have just taken a whirlwind tour through the political landscape of America, and let me tell you, it's a jungle out there. We started with the meme wars, where Governor Newsom thinks he can legislate his way your right to laugh. But the internet never forgets, and it certainly doesn't forgive. This battle for free speech is just beginning, and we're here to cover every hilarious, defiant moment. Then we uncover the chilling reality of multiple assassination teams targeting President Trump. This is not just an attack on one man, it's an attack on the very foundation of our republic. The silence from Washington on this is deafening, and we demand answers. We expose Iran's brazen hack of Trump's campaign, funneling information straight to Kamala Harris. This is foreign interference on a scale that makes 2016 look like child's play, and yet the mainstream media yawns. We delved into the mysterious illness that struck Trump supporters at a rally in Tucson. Was it an accident? An attack? The implications are staggering, and we won't rest until we uncover the truth. And finally, we witness the crumbling of the Democrats' labor firewall. The Teamsters' refusal to endorse Kamala Harris is just the tip of the iceberg. The blue-collar exodus from the left is real, and it is spectacular. Now, I need you to listen closely. This show, this platform, it exists because of you. Your support keeps us on the air fighting the good fight. If you value what we do, if you want to keep this beacon of free speech alive, we need your help. There are donation links in the description. Every dollar counts in this fight for our future. And here's the thing. We need you to spread the word. Tell a friend, tell your family, heck, tell that liberal cousin of yours who needs a wake-up call. The more people who hear this message, the stronger that we all become. Remember, folks, knowledge is power. And now you are armed to the teeth. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and most importantly, stay free. Until next time, this is Gary Franchi for the Next News Network on the Raw feed. Good night, and God bless America.